I'll tell you what, guys, I am super pumped up about this release here. This one, I didn't have the highest expectations going into it. I thought it was going to be pleasant because it's from a niche brand which rarely misses, in my opinion. They have a lot of great releases, some definitely better than others. Maybe some are a little bit more mediocre. And I kind of thought maybe this would fall in that category. You know, it's just okay. Some of their releases, like Tonka Cola, Intense Cedrat Boisé, you know, Cedrat Boisé, Red Tobacco, those are like top tier releases. And some others, you know, Wave Musk and things like that are just okay. I thought it was going to be over there, but this one might actually be closer in the direction of some of those top tier releases, and I wasn't expecting it at all. This is the brand new Mancera Cosmic Pepper. Like I said, wasn't expecting this much out of it, but I've been testing it for a while now, and finally going to go ahead and get my full review out there. Why didn't I do a first impressions on this one? I don't really know. You know, I like to go back and forth. What I like about doing reviews like this is I can spend a lot more time with it, and then I can also give you performance and things like that towards the end. I've had this for a while. I first got it off of Fragrance Net, you know, and so they came in stock, and then once they came in stock, I ended up getting some, sold out. They came in stock again after I had tried it. I loved it so much that I went ahead and sent out an email to you guys saying, hey, this is in stock. It's way, way off of retail. This was like $80 or $90. Retails for $180, and it's sold out quick. So if you guys want to be able to get this one for considerably less than retail price, jump on my mailing list and texting list down below. I'll send you a notification as soon as it's back in stock, along with anything else that might be hard to find or rare right now. This isn't rare or hard to find, but it's sold out because it's brand new and discounters aren't keeping it consistently in stock yet, but I'll get you taken care of. All right, let's just go ahead and dive right into it. I'm going to go ahead and spray it on. If you guys haven't bought any Manceras recently, they've upgraded the presentation substantially. You get a magnetic cap now instead of the little twist-off cap. And then maybe you saw that, maybe you didn't. Nice pressurized atomizers. Big upgrade here. And these are still super reasonable. So, no surprise, Cosmic Pepper has a nice little peppery kick off the top. Not too strong. It's not like overly spicy. It's not overbearing. It's not a sweet spiciness either. It's true to the name. It's just a nice little pepper kick to kind of wake the senses up. Not long after that, a pretty fair, considerable amount of musk starts coming into place. Not like a super clean and soapy musk, but more of like a powdery musk, if that makes sense. Just powdery and ever so slightly sweet. So just a different style of musk that you might be not used to. I want to go ahead and do the full note breakdown here for you guys. Up top we have lemon, sage, pink pepper, and tangerine. In the mid we have black pepper, oud, and rose. In the base we have white musk, tonka bean, oak moss, labdanum, and ambergris. So of those notes, no surprise, the black pepper, I get a lot of that. I get more of that than the pink pepper personally. The sage comes through pretty quickly off the top there. The lemon and tangerine, don't get a ton of that, to be honest, but you know, maybe it's there, just kind of giving a little bit of a filler, I guess. Definitely not super prominent to me. The white musk, definitely getting some of that. And you'll find later on in the dry down, the oak moss, the ambergris comes into play, but that's not super present up top. And I know everybody's going to be asking, what about the rose and the oud? And I can tell you that it's not all that strong. You don't pick it up on the opening, and you really don't get a whole lot of it in the dry down either. That's a couple notes right there that are going to put a lot of people off and turn a lot of people away from this, but you really don't pick up on it a ton. Mancera itself, generally the brand, they use oud in their scents a lot, but you don't always really pick it up. And it's usually a more kind of synthetic oud. It's usually something that's not overbearing anyway, but oftentimes you can hardly smell it at all. Okay, now I just kind of want to go ahead and put this out there. What does this smell like? Because when you get this in for yourself, you will realize that it reminds you of a couple things, at least if you've been around in the community for any sort of period of time. And I know for me, when I sprayed this one the first time, I immediately was like, okay, there's something that is really similar to something I've smelled before. And I'm just going to go ahead and throw it out there what I personally think it smells a lot like, okay? And it goes like this. It smells a lot like Chanel Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme and La Nuit de l'Homme / a little bit of regular YSL L'Homme. So La Nuit de l'Homme and L'Homme, Chanel Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme. That is what this one smells like. It smells like a combination of all of that plus a little Mancera twist. And so to break that down further here, when I was talking about that musk a minute ago, in the beginning of the video, not being like fresh and soapy and super clean like linen's musk, but more of like a powdery, dusty, and sweet musk, that's the Chanel Allure Homme Sport Extreme. Almost has like that kind of tonka bean, powdery nature that the Chanel is known for, the Eau Extreme version. That's kind of where that's coming from. And in terms of the La Nuit de l'Homme comparisons, there's no cardamom in here, but the pepper mixing with some of the aromatics and some of that powderiness kind of gives off a little bit of that spicy, powdery, sexy La Nuit de l'Homme smell. And then kind of going back over to L'Homme, just the original L'Homme, kind of a similar deal. Not really sure where that's coming from when you look at the notes. There's no ginger in here. Maybe that's where some of the lemon is coming in, just kind of not necessarily picking up on it standalone, but the lemon mixing with some of the powdery notes and maybe some of the spices is kind of giving off just a tad bit of that original L'Homme smell. That could be where that's coming from. And I've got to say, I absolutely love this stuff. I loved it so much. And I immediately went to my fiance and I'm like, here, smell this. And she loved it as well. It was a hit immediately. I mean, this is the type of thing you can tell that's going to have that wow factor about it. Even though for us and, or just people who are in the community and have smelled things like this before, yeah, it might be familiar, but it still has that combination and then its own unique twist, just enough to make it different to where it still just gets your attention and it's like, wow, that smells incredible. Familiar, yes, but still incredible and a big head turner. This is the type of thing that just gets your attention and you just go, wow, that smells great. I'm super excited about this. If you can't tell, I really like it a lot. And again, this is coming from someone who didn't think it was going to be all that exciting, but it really is. Also, it's important to keep in mind that I love the fragrances that I'm comparing this to. A lot of those go back to the very beginning of my collection. Chanel Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme I got pretty early on from Notino before they went out of business. La Nuit de l'Homme and L'Homme I also got pretty early on as well. Ended up smelling, I think, both of them in stores first, then bought them not too long after that on discounters. All very early on. This was 5-6 years ago at this point, pretty close. So very beginning stages of my collection. Love all of those scents. So, there's that aspect of it, but there's just also the fact that, man, all of this mixed together, turns out it smells really good. The Chanel was always kind of known as that scent that just gets a ton of compliments in the first 30 minutes. The opening smells great and it projects and is very strong in the opening and then settles down after that. That's kind of a part of the hype behind that one. When it was going through its hype stage, La Nuit de l'Homme is all about that spicy, powdery, creamy sexiness. You're getting some of that here. The original L'Homme is very much a gentlemanly smelling scent. It smells refined and classy and elegant. You're getting that here. It's a great combination. And so everybody's going to be interested in performance. How does it perform? And I'm here to say, in typical Mancera fashion, for the most part anyway, has great performance. And that's another thing that people will take into consideration when you look at those three scents that I was just talking about. None of those have been known for having good performance. In fact, it's been a known issue with all three of those that they don't perform that good. And for pretty much all of them, you're paying right at $100 or over $100 to get them, and they're not affordable. And so oftentimes that was a pretty serious point of contingency, people saying, yeah, it's not worth the money because the performance isn't that good. I don't have that issue here. This is a 9-hour scent on my skin, 9, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, depending, but it's kind of right in that zone. Just given the type of DNA that this one is, I think that's very fair. I find projection to be softer. I find this one to leave a really good trail in the air, so that's something to keep in mind. Kind of wears more like a parfum, where it's not having a huge amount of distance, but it does waft and hang in the air really well. You might have to get a little bit closer to it to smell it, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. And you can get a bit more projection distance out of it if you apply it a bit heavier as well. So yeah, Cosmic Pepper by Mancera. One that might look a bit boring on paper, but trust me, when you get this one in and try it out, it's actually really, really impressive. This is great stuff. I really like it. I can see myself wearing this a lot. You know, I can't say that about every new release. They might smell good or whatever, but then it is a matter of, okay, where's that going to fit into my rotation? I can see this one fitting in. You know, right now it's kind of going out of season. I'm going to be getting into my winter scents heavily. Tonka Cola, red tobacco, things like that from Mancera. But as soon as spring comes around, I'll really start wearing this one heavily. And I'll still sneak this one in here at the end of fall. I'll link it down below. It might be out of stock, but if you jump on my mailing list, texting list, I'll notify you about this one coming back up below retail, along with any other rare fragrance find or big sale or whatever. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.